President Trump says he'll send the National Guard to Chicago, despite Illinois leaders calling his plan illegal and unhinged.
The president says this isn't a political move, but an obligation to fight crime in the city. Fox's Asher Red is in Chicago, and Asher, some states have refused to ask for troops.
Well, Tom and Courtney, this has essentially become a sparring match between President Trump and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Trump wants Pritzker to ask for federal help, but Pritzker says the president is just trying to manufacture a crisis. Meanwhile, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says the city doesn't have a crime problem, it has a gun problem. He's blaming illegal guns from Republican states for driving Chicago's crime rate, which is about triple that of LA's and quadruple that of New York City's. Trump says crime in Washington, D.C. is down nearly 90% since he deployed the National Guard there 2 weeks ago. And many people here say that if the National Guard is able to stop the crime, they may as well bring in the troops.
I think at this point, man, trying something because nothing's working. So if this works and it helps, I mean, why not cooperate?
We kind of grew up with crime and violence being the norm for us. But when you go to other places, it's not like that. And so you do realize that that's not normal.
And people here are pointing to one of the city's bloodiest weekends this year as fresh evidence that deployment is needed in the city right now. Chicago police reported 37 shootings over the Labor Day weekend. 58 people were shot and 8 of them died. On Friday, Chicago's mayor signed an executive order to prohibit local police from cooperating with the National Guard, and Pritzker says troops are not welcome in Chicago.
The president is begging me to call him to ask him to do something that we don't want. He wants me to call him and ask him to call in National Guard to the city of Chicago. We don't want it.
And today, Trump showed interest in sending the National Guard to New Orleans, where he says troops can fix the crime problem there in about 2 weeks. Back to you.
All right, Asher, thanks.
As President Trump signals he will continue to use federal law enforcement to fight crime, he's finding some support on Capitol Hill.
But Democrats are still lining up against the use of troops in American cities. Fox's Connor Hansen has more from New York.
I want to go into Chicago and have this incompetent governor that doesn't want us.
President Trump says he's moving federal law enforcement into Chicago, whether local leaders ask for it or not. Dozens were shot and 8 people were killed throughout the Windy City over Labor Day weekend.
The cavalry's coming. The people of this country deserve help.
But some Chicago residents have mixed opinions on bringing in federal troops like they've seen happen in Washington, D.C.
There is no issue. You know, there's not a meaningful crime problem that's been spiking or anything. We're fine. Like, the CPD's been doing pretty good.
I think that it'll do justice, for the city. I think putting some structure in place will definitely, help prevent those things.
Illinois Senators Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin wrote a letter to the Secretary of the Navy asking about a plan to house ICE agents in Naval Station Great Lakes. They called it a part of the administration's, quote, inhumane immigration rampage.
If this president wants to help us reduce crime, we'll work with him. But this notion that he is going to invade Chicago, put military checkpoints in that city, for God's sake, that's just an outrage.
Trump says he's considering expanding to other states and has his eye on Louisiana next.
You have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks.
President Trump has still not said when he might move federal law enforcement into Chicago, but it's expected to happen in a matter of days. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.